Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening. Thanks for choosing Big Fox News. I'm Nick Smith. More states are rolling back COVID-19 restrictions despite warnings from public health officials. Meanwhile, AstraZeneca is defending its vaccine after more states suspend shots. Steve Harrigan has more.
For the first time in months, Los Angeles County will reopen indoor dining, movie theaters, and gyms at limited capacity. California joins states like Texas and Mississippi in rolling back COVID-19 restrictions. But public health officials warn opening prematurely could cause another surge of infections. On Sunday, Dr. Anthony Fauci urged states to wait until more people are vaccinated.
If you wait just a bit longer to give the vaccine program a chance to increase the protection in the community, then it makes pulling back much less risky.
Starting today, Texas will expand vaccine eligibility to people 50 and older, while in Georgia, people 55 and older, as well as residents with high-risk medical conditions, can now get their shots. But some health experts say the expansion could impact senior citizens still waiting to be vaccinated.
Once we start expanding the number of people who are able to get vaccinated, the younger, more tech-savvy individuals are definitely going to snap up those spots from seniors.
Meanwhile, AstraZeneca says it's found no evidence its COVID-19 vaccine increases the risk of blood clots. The drug maker is defending the formula after some countries raised concerns about clotting in some recipients. At least 6 European countries have suspended vaccinations with AstraZeneca's shot.
Millions of doses have been given, and we haven't seen an elevation in these events. But it's still better to be cautious.
The AstraZeneca vaccine has still not been approved for use in the U.S. In Atlanta, Steve Harrigan, Fox News.
Health experts are worried that spring break could lead to another spike in COVID cases. The scene is ripe for that down in Florida, where police had to break up gatherings that had gotten too large and too wild. Natasha Chin has more.
Spring break is here in Miami, with people crowding the beaches and bars as if there is no pandemic. Some gatherings grew out of control. Miami Beach authorities arrested at least 100 people over the weekend. And without a statewide mask mandate in Florida, local leaders must impose their own rules, something the Miami Beach mayor says is even more difficult with spring breakers in town.
The governor has made it difficult. We have a mask mandate, we just can't find anybody.
Despite the CDC urging Americans to avoid travel, according to the TSA, nearly 2.6 million passengers went through checkpoints at airports across the U.S. Friday and Saturday.
People are going on spring break and letting down their guard as some of these new, more infectious variants are spreading across the country.
The threat of partygoers spreading the virus isn't the only big concern for health experts. While nearly 15% of U.S. adults are fully vaccinated this morning, a large number of former President Donald Trump supporters are refusing shots. According to a new poll, nearly half of people who backed Trump in 2020 say they will not get the vaccine.
In Arkansas, it's a very pro-Trump state in terms of the last election. And so we see that resistance whenever we are opening up eligibility for the vaccine.
We are seeing vaccine hesitancy, and a lot of that's dealing with white Republicans, quite honestly.
While all other living former presidents were publicly vaccinated, Trump quietly received his vaccine in January.
I cannot imagine that if he comes out that they would not get vaccinated. It would be very helpful to the effort for that to happen.
As the vaccine rollout continues, some states like Maryland are relaxing pandemic restrictions, a move the governor defended.
We didn't lift restrictions. We did raise capacity limits, but we kept the most serious mitigation measures in place, which is masking and distancing.
Dr. Anthony Fauci asks Americans to keep following personal safety measures, warning the U.S. is vulnerable for another coronavirus surge.
We can avoid that if we continue to vaccinate people, get more and more protection without all of a sudden pulling back on public health measures.
Today, teachers in every state and D.C. are eligible to get vaccinated against COVID-19. Education leaders believe that that's a step in the right direction, but as Britt Conway reports, getting students back in the classroom 5 days a week is still a work in progress.
Starting today, teachers in every state are eligible for COVID-19 vaccines. The vaccine rollout for teachers had been slow at times, a hard-fought battle for many.
We were so pleased to hear President Biden say that we should prioritize educators.
Also happening little by little.
Most of our schools are already back to in-person learning.
But not necessarily 5 days a week yet. So when could that happen?
I'd like to think that in many places we can do that this spring.
But deciding how to do that varies widely, and not everyone is on the same page, even if they're in the same district.
There are other districts in San Diego who have opened up, only to have to shut down within a few days.
More and more evidence is suggesting that we can reopen our schools safely.
And that's part of the challenge. The science is evolving. Right now, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention look at community spread and rely on 5 strategies for reopening safely: universal masking, physical distancing, washing hands, cleaning facilities, and improving ventilation, along with contact tracing, isolation, and quarantine. And as the CDC learns more,
they will be giving guidelines according to the data that they have.
Another challenge is more straightforward: money.
Now with the American Rescue Plan, I'm confident it's going to get done.
And the smile you see on my face is the light at the end of this very dark tunnel.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention may revise its recommendation to distance 6 feet in classrooms. A Harvard study published last week found no difference in COVID transmission in Massachusetts schools when students distanced 3 feet instead of the CDC recommended 6 feet. Students in that study were wearing masks. The CDC isn't quite ready to revise its recommendations yet, but its director says the agency is looking at the possibility. Dr. Anthony Fauci said Sunday he expects the CDC to decide whether to revise its guidance very soon. Working from home has become the new normal during the pandemic, but will this shift in office life affect business going forward? Matt Kleindus joins us in Corning to discuss how this shift could affect local businesses.
Good evening, Nick. Much of the workplace environment has changed to accommodate for COVID guidelines, and the president of the Chemung County Chamber of Commerce believes some of those changes may become permanent.
I think we're still seeing an adjustment of how office businesses are going to kind of act moving forward.
Camilla Keeley says businesses throughout the southern tier are examining their options as the outlook of the pandemic improves. For a lot of employees, they may be splitting time between working from home and from the office. This could end up being the new norm for some businesses.
I think we'll see more and more flexibility in the workplace, more ability for individuals to work remotely, more flexible work environments moving forward.
Such a shift could have a ripple effect throughout the area. Keeley says commercial real estate has taken a massive hit as businesses re-examine how much office space they really need.
Let's say you had 50 people coming into your office, and then due to needing to work remotely or possibly layoffs or just changes in the workflow in general, you found that you didn't need any office space or maybe only needed an office space for 25 on-site employees. Well, then you're looking, at downsizing.
For businesses looking to cut any overhead cost, changing the nature of the workplace may be an easy call.
So if businesses are operating in a larger space than what they require, and if the pandemic has helped them to see that, they're reevaluating where they're at because it all comes down to dollars and cents for businesses.
Matt Kleindens, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
The Biden administration is planning to launch a COVID-19 vaccine promotion campaign in the coming weeks. It's aimed at Americans who are hesitant to get immunized. A marketing executive close to the project says the government is spending $250 million. Most of the money will be used to buy advertising on television, radio, billboards, print, and digital media. Work on the advertising project started last fall, but the Biden administration has been waiting to launch the education campaign until there was an increase in vaccine supply. Some Americans are already spending their COVID relief stimulus money from the Biden administration, but others will have to wait a bit longer to get theirs. The reason? It takes some banks a few days to process checks. Wells Fargo customers who complained about not getting their money yet got an answer from the bank today. In a tweet, Wells Fargo said customers who expect to get their money directly deposited will start seeing it in their accounts on March 17th. Chase Bank also said their customers will see their money on Wednesday. Members of the New York National Guard have returned home following a 2-month deployment to the national's capital. 540 National Guardsmen were sent to provide additional security following the Capitol riots on January 6th. Colonel Richard Goldenberg says the soldiers served admirably, ensuring the safety of Capitol Hill.
Well, this is what it means at the very essence of being a citizen soldier. Whether it's a natural disaster, a weather disaster, or any other type of crisis, they need to know and feel comfortable knowing that they're members of their community. Their very neighbors will don a military uniform and report for duty, supporting either state or national efforts to help out their neighbors in need.
The New York National Guard worked alongside guardsmen from 5 other states, as well as the Capitol Police. Members of Congress will get emergency procedures training starting this week. Acting Sergeant at Arms Timothy Blockett says his office is partnering with Capitol Police to host that training. They plan to review chamber-specific emergency procedures, protective actions, and use of the escape hood. The training comes a day after U.S. Capitol Police say they intended to reduce perimeter fencing and are considering scaling back the National Guard presence at the Capitol. In a letter sent to members of staff today, the USCP and National Guard say they will continue to maintain some presence and will increase security posture. Still ahead tonight, a young man with autism pens a powerful handwritten cover letter that went viral on LinkedIn.
I'm a bright guy, but I also communication is hard for me.
More on his inspirational words that have touched millions across the country.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Kim Walker with your weather update. Cooler today than it was yesterday. Highs yesterday in the 40s. Today, we didn't quite make it. In fact, we were barely above freezing. About 9 degrees cooler this afternoon than yesterday. 11 degrees cooler reported in Corning. About 6 degrees cooler in Watkins Glen and also in Bath. So for tonight into tomorrow night, we are anticipating a low pressure system that will be moving from the southern plains right over our area. It will push colder air initially, and so we are expecting a wintry mix of rain and snow as we start off your Tuesday. That could change over to showers in the afternoon as those temperatures warm up. But it looks like there will be some areas that will see highs in the 40s. And so in that area, we are going to see the possibility of more rain than snow. But here in Elmira, we are expecting temperatures to start off in the 20s. So that will sustain some very snow activity. But then as we head into your noon hour, we're going to be right at the threshold. So temperatures around 36 degrees. So there could be a wintry mix of snow and rain. And we have temperatures that will stay in the upper 30s. So again, there could be some snow mixing in with some rain as we head into your Tuesday. So let's take a look at our future radar. Increasing clouds for tonight at around 6 o'clock in the morning. It looks like we are going to be dry in our viewing area, but notice the blue that's showing up. That's an indication of snow showers that will be moving through many of our hometowns. But after the noon hour, as those temperatures warm up into the upper 30s and lower 40s, it looks like we could see a wintry mix of rain and snow, possibly even some sleet mixing in with that as well. And this will continue through the afternoon into the evening hours before it moves away. And then a little bit drier conditions for your Wednesday. Then another storm system takes shape and it will start to move right over our area on Thursday and Friday, bringing the possibility, I think this time, of rain as those temperatures will be a little bit warmer. Tonight, though, it is going to be cold, 17 degrees for the low in Elmira, 24 degrees in Corning. Here's a look at your highs for tomorrow. A little bit warmer in Corning at 41 degrees, but 39 in Elmira, 38 degrees in Hornell, as well as Perkinsville. We are expecting cloudy conditions tonight, a few showers of rain and snow as we start off your Tuesday. And then as we head into the latter part of the day, as those temperatures warm up, we are expecting some rain to mix in. Warmer day on Wednesday with a high around 51 degrees, and then we cool down by the end of the week. In fact, it will be chilly on Saturday with highs around 38.
Facebook is rolling out a handful of new tools to help people get vaccinated. It's called the Coronavirus Information Center. The news came out today, and CEO Mark Zuckerberg explained you'll be able to check out when and where you can get vaccinated with a link to make an appointment. It's also being pushed on Instagram, and it may even expand to WhatsApp. More than 50 million Americans suffer from seasonal allergies, and if you're one of them, you're probably already starting to feel the effects. Pollen is beginning to pop, and what you do now can affect how you feel throughout allergy season. Mandy Gaither has more in today's Health Minute.
It's that time of year again. Spring is in the air, literally.
Here we go with our next several months of pollen season.
Tackle your allergies early before symptoms start. Do your doctor recommended therapy about 1 to 2 weeks before pollen season, says Dr. Flavia Hoyt, an allergist at National Jewish Health.
The idea there is really to just kind of get ahead of the inflammation, not let the inflammation start up so that you're not kind of chasing your tail throughout the season.
It's especially important to protect your lungs now during the pandemic. Dr. Hoyt says allergies don't appear to put a person at higher risk for more severe COVID-19, but she says when your airways are inflamed, you're less able to clear viruses.
The lower the inflammation in the airway, the better the airway can function. And part of that functioning is really clearing anything that comes in the nose that needs to get pushed back out.
And since some allergy symptoms can overlap with those of COVID-19, Dr. Hoyt says to call your doctor if you have any questions.
If you have any concerns, any new symptoms, any symptoms that feel weird, different, more severe than normal, certainly we can help guide you through understanding, is this allergies, is this possibly COVID-19?
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A handwritten cover letter posted on the business social media site LinkedIn has been viewed more than 6 million times. The 20-year-old who wrote the letter talks about having autism, but says he's determined to work hard for anyone who will hire him. Jay Karoff has his inspirational story.
It's been a wondrous birthday for Ryan Lowry of Leesburg. Gifts to enjoy and a Zoom call with his dad, who's traveling.
Are you having a big day or what?
Yes, I'm having a big day.
I am so proud of you, man. 20 years old. This is crazy.
Crazy doesn't begin to describe these last 2 weeks.
I'm a bright guy, but I also have... communication is hard for me.
But his handwritten words on paper have touched millions of people.
Dear future employer.
A couple weeks ago, Ryan, who has autism, penned a letter and posted it on LinkedIn.
I realize that someone like you will have to take a chance on me.
Like everyone else, Ryan has hopes and dreams, and he is gifted in math and memory.
And can memorize anything. Want to recite pi?
3.14159265.
He wants to be an animator or work in IT.
Please let me know if you would like to talk about this with me. Thank you.
And there have been a lot of people who have wanted to talk to him.
The post has been viewed more than 6 million times.
It's raw, it's beautiful, and they all need a chance.
Thousands of people from scores of countries have reached out to the family to help Ryan. He even has calls in the coming weeks with Fortune 500 companies.
You broke the internet, dude.
Yes, I did. But that letter was viral.
What every mom wants is for their children to grow up and have a life and support themselves and be independent.
Jay Korf, ABC 7 News.
The 63rd Annual Grammy Awards are in the books, and the latest show during the COVID-19 pandemic era featured the usual live guest performances without the usual live crowds. David Daniel has the latest on music's biggest night.
We're hoping that this is all about what 2021 can be, full of joy, new beginnings, and coming together. Never forgetting what happened in 2020, but full of hope for what is to come.
Grammys host Trevor Noah ushered in a less locked down awards show as nominees performed for one another in a circle of stages. Winners accepted their awards in person, including Best New Artist Megan Thee Stallion.
every artist that was nominated for this award is so amazing. So shout out to all of y'all.
When Billie Eilish won her second straight Record of the Year trophy for Everything I Wanted, she shouted right back, praising Megan.
You are a queen. I want to cry thinking about how much I love you. You're so beautiful. You're so talented.
The protest anthem, I Can't Breathe, was named Song of the Year.
I didn't imagine that my fear and that my pain would turn into impact and it would possibly turn into change. And I think that's what this is about, and that's why I write music.
Album of the Year went to Folklore by Taylor Swift, the first woman to win that award 3 times.
We just want to thank the fans. You guys met us in this imaginary world that we created, and we can't tell you how honored we are forever by this.
But Best R&B Performance turned out to be the night's biggest moment.
History has just been made, breaking the all-time record for the most Grammy wins ever by any female artist or any singer, male or female. The Grammy goes to Beyoncé!
4 Grammys on the night gave Beyoncé a career total of 28.
I believe it's my job and all of our jobs to reflect the times, and it's been such a difficult time. So I wanted to uplift, encourage, and celebrate all of the beautiful Black queens and kings that continue to inspire me and inspire the whole world.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Take a look at this. This Texas man has donated 120 gallons of blood. Marcos Perez says he needed a blood transfusion as a baby and his dad's friend saved his life. He started donating himself when he was in high school and has been at it 37 years. These days, Perez gives plasma and platelets every 2 weeks here at the South Texas Blood and Tissue Center in San Antonio. The facility estimates his blood has helped more than 3,000 people. A beekeeper is looking to educate the masses about bees, and she's not just using her head, she's using her hands. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
This Texas woman's barehanded bee handling has the internet buzzing. Beekeeper Erica Thompson is on a mission to save her pollinator pals. The founder of Texas Bee Works offers for-hire bee harvesting and removal, as well as education about these important insects. But it's the fact that Thompson often doesn't wear any protective gear when handling bees that's made her a social media star. And that star status is helping her spread her message.
Most honeybees don't want to sting you. So I hope that, by people watching these videos, maybe they can look at bees a different way.
Thompson hopes to encourage others to get involved in protecting bees by dispelling their sting-happy stigma and getting right to the point.
They're vital to our existence and to our ecosystem.
Some folks in Massachusetts were buzzing after they got a surprise concert from a music legend while receiving COVID-19 vaccinations. World-renowned cellist Yo-Yo Ma gave a mini performance at Berkshire Community College after receiving his second round of a vaccine. He was caught on camera performing during his post-shot observation period. The scene was exactly 1 year to the day since the cellist began a trend on social media, sharing special pandemic recordings using the hashtag Songs of Comfort. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. Even your favorite pancake house has likely never served a tall stack like this one. Russian chefs set a national record with this 11.5-foot tall stack of pancakes. It was created as part of celebrations marking the beginning of spring. The outdoor festival was held Sunday in southwestern Siberia. Chefs and local volunteers all pitched in, making about 1,500 of the traditional Russian pancakes. The occasion was a tradition pre-Christian holiday that symbolizes the change of seasons from winter to spring. The pancakes are considered an essential part of the festivities. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.